Look at this data from today's closing bell. The Dow Jones Industrial Average suffered a massive 1,100-point drop, leading a broader market sell-off. On the surface, this looks like standard market volatility. However, this dip is a symptom of something deeper, a moment where multiple global systems are colliding at once. For decades, we have relied on institutional silos to organize society. Central banks, governments, and cultural academies have used these rigid categories to maintain order and control. But those boundaries are currently breaking down. Under the pressure of modern technology and global crises, the friction between these old silos is becoming impossible to ignore. Today's chaotic news cycle is a synchronized failure. Institutions are attempting to contain a reality that no longer fits in their boxes. In Washington, D.C., the Federal Reserve just held interest rates steady for the 5th consecutive time, but the decision was not unanimous. 3 officials broke ranks to vote for an increase, citing concerns over inflation and energy costs. Fed Chair Kevin Warsh is the man in the middle of this divide. He described the internal disagreement as a good family fight, insisting the bank would let incoming data dictate its next move. Outside the Fed, the pressure is more aggressive. President Trump called Warsh a brilliant guy today, while simultaneously attacking the Fed as a political board for refusing to lower rates. While policy remains gridlocked, physical infrastructure is also shedding its old constraints. A new $22 billion overhaul of Dulles International Airport will physically eliminate the people movers, the shuttles that have functioned as transit silos for decades. This combination of internal economic division, high-level political interference, and massive infrastructure upheaval creates a landscape of total flux. When the traditional anchors of the economy are this divided, the market reacts with the anxiety we saw at the opening bell. Geopolitical boundaries are failing just as rapidly. Russian authorities have officially charged Telegram founder Pavel Durov with aiding terrorism. Durov, a billionaire living overseas, faces life in prison because he refused to censor the platform. Moscow claims the app is being used to coordinate military action. The physical war is following this digital breakdown. Ukraine is using Telegram to launch long-range strikes deep into Russian territory, hitting oil refineries and logistics centers far beyond the front lines. Cultural borders are also being challenged. The K-pop group BTS announced today they will not submit their music for the next Grammy Awards, effectively walking away from the industry's most prestigious institution. The group is rejecting the Recording Academy's new Asian pop category. BTS argued their music should be loved for what it is, rather than being siloed by their region or language. Critics see this as part of a long-standing pattern. For decades, the Grammys have funneled Black artists into R&B and rap categories, while passing them over for the top awards. Whether it is a tech CEO defying a state or musicians rejecting a racial category, modern forces are violently rejecting these arbitrary institutional boundaries. Natural forces ignore these man-made categories entirely. In Kumamoto, Japan, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake leveled houses and trapped workers in a paper factory. At least 18 people have been killed. In this crisis, national borders are dissolving. Firefighters from Taiwan have joined the Japanese military in an urgent race against time to pull survivors from the debris. A similar scene is unfolding across Europe. Firefighters in France and Spain are currently racing to contain massive wildfires that are sweeping across the countryside, ignoring international lines. And today, the music world lost Glenn Hansard. The 56-year-old Oscar winner, who began his career as a busker on the streets of Dublin, died early this morning in a motorcycle crash. These events, earthquakes, fires, and sudden accidents, reveal the ultimate fragility of the borders humanity tries so hard to aggressively enforce. The friction defining today's global news marks a transition. The world is rapidly outgrowing the structural borders that once defined it. Fed Chair Warsh noted that we are entering a period of watchful thinking rather than watchful waiting. Understanding this new landscape requires active engagement with these shifting lines. We will apply that lens to the rest of the news hour, including a journalist's account of her time with the far-right group the Proud Boys, another example of societal friction pushing against the mainstream. We will also hear from Broadway's Jasmine Amy Rogers, on the experience of growing up and navigating these evolving cultural spaces. To understand tomorrow's news, we must look past the center of our institutions and start watching the friction at their edges.